Hey, good morning everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss Pre-Market Report for Tuesday, October 31st, 2017. Happy Halloween everyone. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. We've obviously gotten our squeeze from the recent low to new highs, and now we're seeing a little bit of hesitation here on these new highs. We obviously have a clear uptrending market, very bullish trending market. But one thing I mentioned to our traders in the trading room is that after this recent squeeze here that we saw, there wasn't a whole lot of volume here, and typically you have to see price rotate back and forth to start to build that volume out this way and perhaps leave behind an LVN. And so we could see this thing continue to churn a little bit sideways back and forth with an upward bias. So right now we have kind of a double inside day working out. Again, any pullback here would still be seen as a buying opportunity, and we could even see this thing come out and take these little recent lows out yet again and see another rotation out as this thing starts to develop perhaps an expanding range at highs. So there's an upward bias. Obviously right now there's no clear path to action at the moment based on the swing idea, but again, any rotation back toward 25.40 or below could still be another buying opportunity for a retest of highs. So the upward trending structure is still intact. Pullbacks are still buying opportunities. Right now, a double inside day would suggest we're coiling up and building a little bit of energy. But until price fails to hold below an LVN, this thing is still trending up. So we'll continue to buy dips in the uptrending market. Here's a look at the NQ. Here's a look at the daily chart of the NQ. We had quite a squeeze here in the NQ from our key zone of 6,000 to 60.20. We were looking for a push into 62.64.5. So remember when I mentioned when we got down here around 6K, we were going to be about a 250 to 265 point run into that zone. We've already gone 250 points into that area, reaching a high yesterday of 62.51.5. We have 62.64.5 just around the corner, and we're looking for that pivot high. From this pivot low here, we've had a great impulse rally. If we get that pivot high up here, we could be looking at a quick pullback into the center of that range. Right now, we're still trying to find that high. Obviously, got to be very careful looking to sell in this very strong uptrending market. Any pullback, again, could still be a buying opportunity for another swing continuation higher. So right now, still quite bullish, looking for signs of maybe a short-term pivot high, which could lead to a fade back toward 61.15, perhaps as low as 61.30. So we'll keep an eye on that in the NQ. If we take a look here at crude oil, again, we had a major squeeze. We were looking for that squeeze. We finally got a huge squeeze here just a few days ago, last Friday, and now we're holding very tightly above a key range high. So if we look back at this chart here, this is the recent impulse sell-off from that high right there, which is basically 53.76. You got this low right here, that's 43.76. And the last time we were outside that range was here. That led to buying opportunities all the way up. Now this is the first time we're testing prices outside that range, and we're sitting precisely just outside the range. You can see right now how price is just holding the last couple of days above that 53.76. We've also, for all intents and purposes, if you go back and look at how we've been calling this thing, we've had this uptrending channel. From this recent rejection, we were looking for price to get to 48.91, and from there we were looking for this thing to rally in the 54 to 55 in that zone right there. We got that move. So now, after rallying into 54 to 55, we are now looking for signs of rejection up here, perhaps as high as 55s into that LVN. Maybe it's a failure to hold the 53.76s, but overall, for all intents and purposes, this move that we were looking for is pretty much done. And now we're looking for signs of rejection, and if we see that rejection, we could be looking to return this thing back toward value, which is 49.26. So right now, we're still kind of quietly pushing higher, still holding at highs, but at some point, we may see a significant rejection up here. That could be day one of rejection that leads us back to value. So that's something we're going to be looking at out here in the next few weeks. So let's take a look here at gold. Gold right now, again, I mentioned before, gold is not really in a spot here to really do much at the moment. We're still chopping around value. There has been a couple of opportunities here, but overall, we're still kind of sitting here chopping around value. And again, while there are some short-term opportunities right now, for the most part, this thing is just kind of stuck in the mud at the moment. At some point, we will see a move to an edge, perhaps down in toward 1200, maybe back up toward 1360. But until that happens, we could continue to see this thing chop, chop, chop and build energy before we see that move to an edge. Once we see that move, it could be a fantastic fade right back to value. All right, that's it for now. Let's see how this thing plays out heading into the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and happy Halloween.